I have good news. Another Republican legislator made the mistake of attending a town hall. Thought they learned their lesson.
My question is fiscal. With 450 million FEMA dollars being reallocated to open Alligator Alcatraz and 600 million taxpayer FEMA dollars being used to now open more concentration camps and ICE burning through $8.4 million a day to illegally detain people, how much does it cost for fascism? How much do the taxpayers have to pay for a fascist country?
Americans went to the polls in November, and they had a choice between a Democratic candidate that had an open border, no enforcement, fentanyl, drugs, human trafficking. And they had a choice between that and a candidate that said, close the border, get illegal immigrants out of our country, stop the fentanyl, stop the human trafficking, stop the drugs, stop the crime, stop the violence. That's what Americans voted for. Americans voted for a border that is secure. And I support the president enforcing our immigration laws, which, by the way, were written by Congress.
I want to ask, why does it seem like when you make your voting decisions, they're based on capital rather than the working class? Billionaires and corporations.
Damn, they really, this is in Lincoln, Nebraska. They got all the damn Omaha deep blue Democrats out here. It's the only thing that's tough for me is that when you see these town halls, you know these aren't Republicans, right? Like it's not like his own constituency getting mad. Maybe some people in the audience, but
Got their tax issues enshrined into law forever, but the working class gets a no tax on tips or overtime that only applies to some of us, and now we wind up in a situation where we are.
Funded by riches. Funded by the richest billionaires.
With all due respect, sir, the Republican Party, now more than ever, represents the heart and soul of the working class. These are the other important parts of the One Big Beautiful Bill. Next slide, please.
it's definitely not his constituents. Well, it's not the people who voted for him, that's for sure. I don't know. It's still good to demoralize and harass these evil people. You can tell his heart's really in it. Yeah, I'm surprised he even did this, you know? He had to know how it would go.
Tensions erupting at a lawmaker's town hall. With the House in summer recess, many members are back home meeting with constituents. And for Nebraska Republican Mike Flood, things got a little bit testy last night, early and often, as he defended President Trump's policies and was confronted on issues from the economy to Jeffrey Epstein. Listen.
Why are you covering up the Epstein files?
At the next pro forma session of the Congress, you'll find my name as a sponsor on a resolution from the House Rules Committee to release the Epstein files to protect the victims and not re-victimize them again.
What he means there is that releasing redacted files that have nothing in them, because that's the Pam Bondi dog whistle of, by not re-victimizing people, what they mean is removing any evidence of anything.
Am for the release of those records.
With us now, CNN political commentator Paul Begala and Brian Lanza, the former deputy communications director for the...
Don't care. Yeah, no, the whole thing went like that, man. It was an hour and 19 minutes. Was there anyone there who was happy to see him?
A lot's been talked about Medicaid, healthcare, etc. A lot of countries in the world, Europe, Canada, they have health care for the people there. Outside, just now you said, you don't want to see a lazy 28-year-old get health care, whatever. My point is, every working and retired American should be entitled to health care. Would you sign on or write up a bill for Medicare for all? We've got Medicare now. We can start rolling back the age. 5, 10 years at a time. Would you support that?
We can't afford that.
Yes, you can.
We protected Medicaid as the safety net for those who cannot care for themselves, who are vulnerable, for those who
No, it was for poor people, actually. That's why there's an income requirement. That was the point of it.
are able-bodied and working. I will tell you this, and I cannot take any credit for it. President Trump is going to bring down prescription prices because the countries you mentioned have been paying way too little for way too long, and we've been subsidizing them. And if we as a country I want to pay the same price for the drugs that are in London as they are in Lincoln. And that has not happened for a long time. We've been subsidizing these foreign governments and their socialized health care. This will get solved by President Trump. It will mark the biggest change in healthcare spending in 50 years. And I'm confident that's where we're going.
That's great, man. That's great.
It talks about two big changes to the Medicaid program. One of those changes is that if you are able to work and you are able-bodied, you have to work. If you choose not to work, you do not get free health care. You do not get free health care. Okay. So here's a question. Do you think that people who are 28 years old that can work and refuse to work should get free health care? I don't think that a majority of Nebraskans agree with you.
What makes you think these aren't his constituents? Come on, don't be stupid. You align with capital rather than the working class. Yeah, like come on. They're not his constituents. They're not his voters. The average Republican right now is entering a kind of like cognitive trance. I don't think they're really paying attention to what's going on. Maybe when their grandma dies, not getting their USPS prescriptions or healthcare costs or something. I don't think so. Look, you're not constituent. People who voted for him. But eventually, won't they have to say things like this? I don't know. There were lots of Germans who still believed the Nazis were doing what's right, even after it got their country bombed to shit and occupied by 4 countries. After Reconstruction, no matter how obviously wrong the South was, a lot of them held on to the belief that they were the victims. I don't know. It seems like Reconstruction 2 Electric Boogaloo, mass occupation of rural areas, forced re-education camps might be the only way out. One day. Mandatory blue hair. We see this one?
Back all of this. Given your full-throated support of the bill, whatever we call it, and your view of the facts, I'd like to know how you expect to pay back all of this debt that is going to be layered onto our grandchildren because we're not willing to make our rich part of our society pay their fair share.
So what's interesting about that, and I think it's a fair question, two things are happening here. People in here are upset with me that I voted to cut $2 trillion in spending from the budget.
Yeah, he won't answer the question, obviously. It's not like you're going to get anything real from these people. Fair share pisses me off as a phrase. It kind of does for me, too, even though I think it polls pretty well. I don't really want rich people to pay their fair share. I want them to pay, like, an unfairly large share. I want them to, like, suffer a little bit. We're talking, like, there's so much money being scraped out at the top of the economy. I don't really care about being fair. I just want everything, basically. It'd be fair if they lost like 99% of their wealth. Yeah, they just shouldn't have that much money. I don't really care. Oh, what if we raised it like 37% at the top? Jesus. Our standards are so goddamn low. Aren't you in the top 5% of income? Yeah, and it would hurt, but I'll take my lumps. But when you want to talk about like real money, we're not even talking about the 1% anymore. We're talking about like a fraction of the 1%, you know? The total amount. We've done that. We keep doing this like econ thing, quantitative easing, blah blah blah, but it's this top level borrow money to invest money, like infinite money glitch shit that's operating up here at the top. that the vast majority of people don't get to participate in. If you make $1 million a year, you're not participating in it. You're nowhere close to. We're talking about like an incredibly tiny portion of the economy, maybe a few thousand, maybe 10,000 people across the country that are like really responsible for that kind of bullshit. I think we should raise the standard deduction as well. Sure, I take advantage of it. Fine by me. Is it fair to call the working class slave labor given the wealth disparity? No, that doesn't really describe slave labor, I don't think. Did you see Trump do what looked like a spicy salute from the White House roof? What?
What? What? What? What? What?
That's funny. Why the fuck is he on the roof? That's a great question. Apparently he was asked why he was up there and he said just walking around, just taking a walk. I respect that. I get that. That's real. It looks like someone's puppeting him. I mean, he's definitely just like pointing. Trump's not a Nazi. That would require him to believe in something larger than himself. But he is a fascist? Yes.